Ladies and gentlemen, let's get down and dirty with another episode of StarCraft Inc. You're watching a match between Millennium Stephano and Obsidian. Stephano spawning as the pink Zerg in the bottom left of Shakuras, and Obsidian spawning in the bottom right as the red Protoss. Alright, this is going to be a good game as PvZ is a really interesting matchup as both teams have very the opposite race units. Infestors eat the shit out of everything. Oh my god. And on the other side, we've got Protoss with a lot of weapons that do so much damage against bio. Like, that is their race feature. Bonus damage against bio, I'd have to say. So, there's a lot of, and then Zerg's got the mobility, and Protoss has just a brute force that makes, I love this matchup so much. As much as I know a lot of Koreans and a lot of old school players just like drool over the TVZ matchup, Terran versus Zerg, I'm a huge fan of the Zerg versus Protoss, which is funny because I'm a Protoss player and it's my weakest matchup. So, I don't know where that enjoyment comes from. I think I just like, I don't know. Anyway, guys, this is going to be a sweet matchup. I like Shakuras because it's got some good long distance between spawn distances, and this weird third. Zerg tend to take this as their third, but Protoss need to take this as their third. It's strange. I'm curious as to see which direction these players go in. By the way, guys, this is rated 9 out of 10 on Gosu Gamers, so preambling an awesome match. I hope that it turns out to be that. I'd be awfully silly if I talk this match up and it turns into a flop. But anyway, it looks like we are seeing a Forge Fast Expand. Man, this is the new style for Protoss, although it's not really a new build, but we're seeing it a lot more. I think a lot of players weren't comfortable with it, but, Nanny was setting the trend. And I don't know if this game is before Naniwa raffle stomped everybody or after, but regardless, we are seeing him seal this right off, which I can't tell if there's a space for a Zealot there or not. This is an odd map. These cliffs, you can't get as close to them as it looks like you should be able to, so I don't think there's a space there, but we'll see. He may have completely sealed off. So, the second Nexus is done, and right away he's chronoing out workers. There won't be a probe transfer right away. He can't lose even a second of mining time when you go for a build like this. So it's interesting that there was no probe transfer. Keep that in mind, guys, when you're Forge Fast expanding. I don't know if that's the way to do it, but that's the way Obsidian here is doing it. When I downloaded this replay, I don't think this guy's name was Obsidian. So let me, I'll double check later what his name is for you guys. But he's got an alternate name. This is like a tournament account that he used because he couldn't use his real one. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. Regardless, this guy is definitely pro if he's facing Millennium Stephano in any tournament, as Stephano is a fantastic Zerg. Just some of the best games from Zerg I've ever cast. Or most interesting to watch, whether they're the best level of skill, but man, he's so much fun to watch, and Ultralisks are his thing, man. He makes them all the freaking time. So, he will be taking his third. Sorry, I was just taking a drink there. We're seeing weapons 1 from the Protoss player, and weapons upgrades in any matchup are so important. Unless you're going against bio as Protoss, then you always get the armor. And same with Zerg. If Zerg's going up against siege tanks and heavy bio, they got to get that. They got to get that armor upgrade so they can survive long enough to do their melee DPS with their lings. The longer you can keep lings alive, tanking damage, just soaking up shells and fire. Anything that doesn't have smart fire. If you guys don't know what smart fire is, for example, Marines or siege tanks, they have smart fire, and that means that when something dies, the next unit won't waste firepower on it. I'll tell you guys in a sec. There's a little bit of early pressure here from the Protoss player. He's sending 2 Zealots in just to do a little bit of DPS and keep the Ling count down and force his opponent to build Lings and not drones. However, it didn't really pay off that much. I think he killed 1 Ling. So that was 200 minerals worth of Zealots for 25 minerals worth of Ling. Anyway, smart fire. When siege tanks go to shoot at something, let's say it's a Ling. Only the exact number of siege tanks that it will take to kill that Ling will fire at that Ling. The rest will pick new targets. And same with Marines. The second something's dead, there won't be any wasted DPS on that unit. Whereas you have something like an Immortal, which does tons of burst damage, and a Colossus, which does tons of burst damage, and they tend to overkill units, so you've got wasted damage per second. When you have a unit like that that's taking shots at Lings, oh my god, it pays off so much for the Zerg player. So any unit without Smart Fire taking shots at Lings, it's just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Especially if, you know, they're tanking more than one of those shots. So we now see the Protoss player actually breaking down that pylon. I think that'll kill his gates. Oh, there's one right here. I didn't even see this one here. I'm freaking blind. So he did, he's clearing a path for himself. Always an interesting tactic to do that, to seal yourself in and then let yourself out. It looks like he will be taking his third. That is the plan for that release, that pylon breakout. But the Zerg player, man, he's had his third for quite some time now, and it's like almost fully saturated. He's about 3/4 of the way there. And a Spore Crawler coming up now to protect him from any kind of air harass or DTs. Weapons 2 on the way, as well as Blink, and it's going to be quite the upgrade fest for the Protoss player. Actually canceling his plans for expansion, which is freaking phenomenal because he would have gotten rolled. There's a lot of Zerg units here. I'm not sure what the grades are on these roaches. It looks like we've got no weapons. What's this here? Zerg missile attacks level 1. So range upgrades are on the way. And we're gonna see one of these Roach Ling pressures to punish this Forge Fast Expand, but it doesn't look like Stephano is going to push. He's just going to contain, which is all he needs to do because he's got these bases. He's already ahead, so if he can keep the Protoss from expanding, he's in good shape. What the Protoss needs is Colossus. You can't stay like this on 2 bases and let your opponent mass up if you're not getting tech. Tech is the way to break and contain. I will tell you that right now. And we will see just Stephano keep him inside that base. It'd be hilarious, just so funny to me if Stephano got burrow and just hid here, and you know the Protoss player wandered out without an observer and got raffle stomped. But the probe goes down, which is a huge waste of time for the Protoss. He needed that expansion. Now he's going to have to wait for another probe to get there. Nice unit split there by Millennium Stephano, baiting some force fields that didn't really pay off, but it was only 2, and he did get a few roaches, so it's not a huge waste of energy. And this is a big Protoss army. It's pretty scary, but the Zerg, as you can see, can pump out a lot of units real quick, and it's not in the Protoss's best interest to push with this because the Zerg player will double his army size very quickly. If you look at the supply, it's 153 out of 60 to 116 out of 116. So the Protoss player is actually supply blocked, which is terrible for him right now. We've got that Robobay out, and looks like roaches will be on the way soon. Here comes the roaches, and a lot of Ling's force fields are going to be key here, but a lot of roaches got in close, and that's a big deal. Blink is the only reason that this didn't turn into a one-sided death fest. And Lings are getting in. Blink needs to be used to get the freak out of there. 1 sentry warped in. I'm not sure why he even bothered with the sentry. He needs stalkers right now. Blink is going to keep him alive, and his weapons upgrades as well. Weapons 2 is a huge deal right now. More stalkers being warped in. There's just so much production on the Protoss side of the field here. And a couple of cannons are going to go down to help him hold his position, which is huge. He's going to need them to defend the Lings and the Roaches. The combination is a very difficult thing to deal with without the right combination of units. He's actually going to wall the space off with gateways. I really like that. I've not seen anyone do that before. Call me a noob or just unexperienced, but I've never seen this before. And I've cast a lot of games on Shakuras. And we will see the Roach and Ling go for this wall, which isn't really a good choice for him because he will get flanked by the Stalkers that are very mobile. Zealots in front to tank a few damage. Zealots are another unit good for soaking up units that don't do Smart Fire. And they're going to try to focus down this Nexus, and Zerg can do this. It's so frustrating. Just allow their units to die while they do DPS where they need it, and they can just remax. It's such a frustrating tactic. It just makes you want to scream as a Protoss player, man. And as we see, he will just let these roaches die, and he will be once again way over supply of obsidian. So we will see Colossus come out now, and it's so much what he needs. That Thermal Lance is done as well, I believe, and Weapons 3 is almost finished. That's going to be a big deal. The more cost-effective the Protoss player can be in each engagement, the better. The closer he will be to pulling ahead and winning. If we look at the Zerg side of things, we've got the pathogen glands. Those are those infestor energy buff. The infestor being the unit I spoke about at the start that just rips the shit out of everything Protoss. I mean, it even locks down Colossus, which I didn't think it could lock down massive units, but I surprised myself the other day when a Colossus got locked down. And that's a big deal because, you know, Colossus, they like to run away. It's part of their staple micro. If you're not microing your Colossus to the back of the party... Oh, it looks like Thermal Lance is not done. I thought it was, but it wasn't even started. That's why it wasn't in the production tab. Anyway, those infestors are coming out, and they're going to make a mess of things for the Protoss player. I mean, he won't be able to blink his stalkers. Just the roaches will be able to get right on top of the stalkers. The Colossus won't be able to run away, and it's just not going to be a good day. Not for anybody, no. So we do have this probe transfer. He will get mining now. The Zerg player on 4 bases. This is never a good thing for Protoss. 4 bases to just now 3 bases. If the Protoss player can be extremely cost effective with one push, no, get away from those spine crawlers. You cannot fight those. So there are no, oh god, this is a terrible place. A reasonably good force field there, but still not a good position for the Protoss player. This Colossus is doing some damage, but the Corruptors are killing it quickly. This has not been cost effective for the Protoss at all. In fact, the Zerg might even just straight up win this engagement. Stalker's on the high ground, but there are now Infestors and these Corruptors keep high ground views, so that's not really a useful thing for the Protoss anyway. We'll see how this goes down. Stalkers are on the top ledge here in good position, and we do have a sweet concave by the Protoss player. And the Zerg walking right into it. He doesn't even care. He's like, you know what, I'm going to fungal growth that shit, and I'm going to kill as much as I can before I have to remax. And my units are cheaper, and I can spit out more, so it's alright. And that's exactly what we're going to see here. We're going to see dirt cheap units wasting expensive units, and then the Zerg just pop out what he needs on 4 bases. It's brilliant. It's how you play Zerg, boy. And Colossus back here cutting everything up. This is just a clusterfuck. I can't tell what's going on. Can you tell what's going on? Good. Yeah, no, we just, a lot of roaches got into the mineral line here, and a lot of probes actually rescued. He put them on patrol or something. That was strange. Regardless, we've still got a decent size of Protoss here. He's actually ahead, 141 to 137. That'll change quickly. I mean, we're going to watch the Zerg player skyrocket. He's also getting a Spire? Why is he getting a Spire? Double air upgrades, maybe? Because he already has a Spire somewhere. I don't know where that first Spire is. Not proxy hatch, a macro hatch going up. Yeah, we got double Spire here. He's going to go heavy on the air upgrades, man. And a 4th base going up here for Obsidian. This is a good time to take that expansion. Very smart player right here. And, I mean, he needs that base because his opponent is out-macroing him right now. Already catching up to him in supply. But even supply, being even on supply for a Zerg player is not good. As Protoss Protoss units are just straight up more powerful in a fight. And let me reiterate, in the right combination. Protoss units support themselves like bread and butter, man. They just fit together. Zealots and Stalkers, man, so powerful. And that's what we have, a nice combination of Protoss units. And this is the making of your Protoss Deathball, man. We've got a bunch of Corruptors on the way. Infestors already out on the field. This Observer trying to, you know, keep tabs on the position of the Zerg army. The Protoss player really needs to engage that army while there are few Corruptors on the field, because he'll be able to get more DPS done with his Colossus before they start one-shotting his Colossus. See, now we have 7 Corruptors on the way, and they're just really going to start tearing through the Colossus. These Colossus might as well not even be in the army. They're only going to get a few shots off before they go down. Keep in mind, we do have armor upgrades on the way for the Protoss. They're already at armor 1. They're going to be at armor 2. They are 3-1. And on the Zerg side of the field, we have, let's check these roaches, 2-0. And on the Lings, we have 2-0. So we have 2 range and 2 ground melee weapons for the Zerg. We have Burrow on the way. We have Broodlords on the way. Man, Infestor Broodlord is so scary. Oh dear. Hold on. I got a yawn. Sue? Man, what I'd like to see is a Zerg player use his Corruptors to deal with the Colossus, first of all, to just rip apart the Colossus, and then cast their ability on the ground units, and then morph it in mid-battle. Because, I mean, the Corruptors you can't shoot it. Well, I don't know. That wouldn't be cost effective. Never mind. I got all gimmicky on you there for a second, but I think the Broodlord straight up would just be more cost effective. Anyway, Protoss army is going to push now. We've got these High Templar, which are going to be a big deal. If they get in range of the Infestors, they will be able to feedback those, and he's staying off the creep, which is very smart. It means the Zerg player can't spot those High Templar, but if he just goes up ahead, the Broodlords will snipe the Infestors. Sorry, with the High Templar. If the High Templar allow themselves to get ahead of the army, they will get sniped. Here we go! We see the feedback one-shotting some Infestors. The Observer giving complete vision of where they are. And the Broodlords are pulling forward, taking pot shots at them with Broodlings. And that initial damage is so much. And actually killing one Stalker for free. The High Templar need to get ahead and snipe more Infestors, and that's what we're going to see him try to do. Somehow the Zerg seems to know it's coming, though. And we do have feedback! Whoa, there we go! One-shotting more Infestors. Trying to pull back. The Broodlords are going to be the unit of choice to snipe those High Templar. And I mean, feedback, man, is dirt cheap. It's so inexpensive to use. We're seeing more Corruptors morph into Broodlords, although I think he canceled them. I think I saw them cancel. I'm not really sure what happened there. We've got... What's going on here? What's going on? A Warp Prism. Oh, I see. I don't know if he did any damage with this, but a Warp Prism was here. And I'm not really sure what came of that. Sorry, guys. I missed that entirely. And I'll keep a better eye on the minimap. We do have that Protoss base at the top right. This one here is up and running and starting to get saturated. Not really. This one's saturated. So we've got some even income, even macro going on for both teams. However, Stephano is having trouble staying maxed. And this Protoss is really playing this just perfectly. He's being so cautious. He's survived some really difficult situations. And right now, these Broodlords are his biggest threat. So, this is up to Stephano really to keep these Broodlords from getting sniped, as they cannot do any damage until he's pushed out. And the Protoss is sitting on a huge bank compared to the Zerg, which is not what Stephano wants, because he wants to throw away his army, doing damage to the Protoss and then remax. Oh, Storm going down. Oh, Stephano. Stephano is losing so much here. Good fungal growth went down and killed most of the High Templar, though. So that was a good pickup there. As you can see, it actually cut down the Protoss' supply quite a bit. And now the Protoss is having even some more trouble with those Broodlings. But actually just frying those up just like eggs. And he's on his way back towards the base. Obsidian almost remaxed again. More Broodlings coming. It looks like he attacked. If you guys saw that, he attacked his own gas geyser with his Broodlords to get those Broodlings on the ground, and then sent them to his opponent so that the Broodlords did not have to get close. That was actually very clever. I've never seen anyone do that before. Stephano, you make me smile. So, to reiterate that, guys, those Broodlords attacked this Vespene geyser right here to get the Broodlings on the ground, and then attack moved them towards his opponent's units. That was very clever. And, yeah, we got this Protoss Deathball sitting out here, just kind of slowly getting bigger. He's sitting on the most ridiculous bank ever. I guess it's not most ridiculous. I've seen bigger. That's what she said. But anyway, we got this big Zerg army as well. Don't get me wrong. Oddly enough, no detection. It kind of makes me smile. I'm surprised he hasn't, just fungled his own army to check for observers. Guys, if you are a Zerg and you've got a lot of energy on your Infestors, which I guess he doesn't, but I mean if you do, just throw one at your army to see if there's an observer in there. A very useful technique because it will detect it and your Corruptors will snipe it. So, here goes the engagement. We got both players pretty much maxed. I mean, the Protoss doesn't have any units that are 2 supply or cheaper. I guess Zealots, but Zealots just going to slow the army down, get in the way of the Stalkers and the High Templar. Not a good idea. We've got Void Rays getting mixed into this army. Colossus Stalker Void Ray is scary as shit. I mean, shit's not particularly scary, but that depends on where it is. And this shit is in your house, okay? So this Protoss Deathball is stepping onto Zerg territory. It's in his house. It's scary because it's there. That was the reference. Hope you guys enjoyed that. So, Colossus, Void Ray, Stalker, Sentry, Death Ball. That's pretty scary. He's wandering over here. He's kind of doing the dance, man. He's doing the dance. And the Zerg player is got these two bases here, not really saturating either of them. Oh, Jesus. He almost lost all of his infestors to the Colossus Fire. Every time they step forward, they're just getting raped. But the whole time he was doing that, fungal growth was going down on all of this Protoss. And lots of feedback going down on the infestors. The Colossus are still alive, shockingly, and the Void Rays are just destroying the Broodlords, which is so key. These Void Rays are more than paying for themselves. Corruption going down on them before the Corruptors die, though. The Colossus coming in to join the Void Rays. I had 22 Corruptors on the way to deal with this threat, but I mean, as soon as Stalkers get back in here, that's not even going to matter. We've got a huge wave of Corruptors now. The Void Rays need to get back with the rest of the army, or they will just die for free. But at the same time, it's going to be so hard to support them with a ground army because there are just a massive wave of Broodlords here. Those Void Rays really needed to deal with the Broodlords. They kind of wasted time on the infrastructure, the Zerg infrastructure, which is dirt cheap and not hard to replace. It would be more effective for him to deal with the Broodlords, because now this Corruptor respawn is just the hardest thing in the world to deal with. Void Rays over here kind of sniping Broodlords. That's what he needs to do. He needs to kill those. And Broodlings on the ground just picking apart this base here. And that's a bad thing. These Stalkers are just kind of running around, not shooting anything, and that's a huge deal as well. We need to get Stalkers up here and under the Broodlords. And I don't see a Protoss army. We see Obsidian sitting at 119 out of 200. Millennium Stephano sitting at 183. Is this a comeback from Stephano? Stephano pushing back towards the Protoss player. Lots of Broodlings on the ground, so Stephano can't even get... Sorry, Obsidian can't even... A mothership comes out for the Protoss player, which is exactly what he needs because there is no detection for the Zerg player. Fungal growth will serve as detection, but the mothership pretty much insta-dies to the Corruptors. There are just so many Corruptors, and I don't know how the Protoss player can deal with this. He's played so well up until this point, but at this point, he is just overwhelmed because he didn't kill the Broodlords with his Void Rays during that little opening. He had an opening, a timing window, where there were no Corruptors in the air, and he needed to kill the Broodlords, and he didn't. And here is his punishment. He's blinking forward, trying to focus fire down the Broodlords before the Broodlords can kill them with the Broodlings. The next warp-in cycle for the Protoss is all he's going to have left, but he's losing all of his production. He's losing all of his income, all of his tech. This Zerg wave is killing him. There are actually DTs on the ground killing roaches, but he's sending the DTs across the map now to do damage back. The Protoss player is going to try to hang in here, and he's trying to produce something, a Colossus out of this Robo Bay, but I think he should just do Robo Facility. Sorry, he's got to, there he goes, just loses that. He's making more production over here, and those DTs, I don't know what damage they can do. Where are they? I don't know where they are. There's all three of them are right here. Oh, fungal growth goes down and ends their world. Obsidian GG's because he knows the damage that those DTs could have done was the last chance he had. And that's the end of this game, man. I thought Obsidian had it, but Millennium Stephano pulls back, being the solid Zerg that he is. Good decision making, and one false move by Obsidian cost him the game. Guys, I'm Mr. Incarnum. I hope you enjoyed this game. You're watching StarCraft Inc. I'll see you guys next time.